Here we are.
Okay.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing okay. So yeah, how's how's it going in where you are?
Well, I'm in LA,
Explain your
and we are.
situation. Yeah, explain your
Yeah,
situation.
it's weird. It's a first for everything. I think the world will never, never be the same. So right now,
Mm.
LA is on lockdown, meaning we have to stay inside, but we can go into the park and walk. But we can go to grocery stores and do like errands. That's it.
Okay.
So it's a weird time, and yesterday we went to 5 grocery stores. It's really I felt it like the empty shelves yesterday because I just
Uh-huh.
want
Yeah.
flour, right? I
Yeah.
just flour, and there's none. We went to 5 grocery stores,
Yeah.
so I felt there's a lot of anxiety here in LA. There's a lot of it's really quiet, so
Yep.
and a lot of people are indoors, and I think we are here to share that they can
Yeah.
take our breaks.
Yeah.
In
So
their days. So how are you doing?
um yeah, we're sort of in a very similar situation. My children are going to not go to school for about 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So we are finding a new routine.
Yeah.
And my mantra right now is it is what it is, and I am going with the flow.
Right.
I can.
Right.
And I think that it's really interesting that our last conversation we asked the question, why is art self-care, and we started talking about it, our own personal
Yeah.
experiences, and about just what we've witnessed in the programs that we've started. And I think this is a one of the reasons art is self-care is because it is a stress reducer and a mood enhancer. It
Right.
really helps with fears and anxieties and those emotions that
Mhm.
you know are unfortunately have a negative stigma. I would argue that all emotions are important to have, but certain emotions do get tagged as being negative. And I have a feeling that quite a bit of people are feeling a little bit more stress in their life, a little bit more fear, and a little bit more anxiety, if not a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
So,
Collectively, and also I would say I agree with the feelings. We are supposed to feel feelings, but we're supposed to let them go. You know what I mean? And
mm,
I think fear, anxiety, those negative ones seem to how do I say this? With humans, they seem to like loop, if that makes sense. It seems
yeah,
like we don't let go of fear, we don't let anxiety go of
I
anxiety. It just
yeah,
builds up. And so, for example, this huge pandemic is a trigger of all, probably, all the anxiety you've ever experienced in your life.
oh, is coming all at once
Right.
of your body. Yeah, I would say I would agree with that. I think that you have to, in order to, let's say, begin the healing process, you need to, you need to feel it to heal it, to make
Yeah, there you go.
it to understand. And I think that feelings are scary. And so we avoid feeling the ones that scare us. And like you're saying, we just sort of like, we push them down, we swallow them, we
Mhm.
bottle up. And that's why we have large people who snap,
Yeah, yeah,
because they have not, they've never been given the opportunity, or they've never given themselves the opportunity to feel the real feeling and then begin the healing process, or live with it. I know several people. I was just talking to my father about this the other day,
hmm,
about grief isn't something that ever goes away.
right.
And I would agree with that. I agree. I think grief is something you learn to live with, or you become who you are through it, or, and but you're and everybody experiences grief in their own way, and it doesn't, every all of it is it matters. But if you don't allow yourself to actually grieve, I think you will explode.
Yeah, and I think I've had anxiety my whole life, so so I'm a
Right.
testament to working with it. But I feel yes, there is the gold in a treasure in the emotion, the anxiety, the negative emotion. But you have to go through it and you have to express it. And art
Yeah.
is a beautiful way of really expressing it. And
Right.
I think
Yeah.
also as
I
kids, we're
totally.
really not taught to how to handle anxiety or how to handle grief or how to
Yeah.
handle fear. It's just like, suck it up or something. No one
Yeah.
says,
Mm,
guess what? If you draw it out, you know what I mean? Draw it, express it, get it out of yourself, and then you can witness it, and then you can go, why are you there for me? And a
yeah.
lot of times anxiety is there for protection.
Mm,
I would say grief is there for that's a different animal, but it's really there to it's fear of death. It's fear of our own
right.
mortality, right? Which
Yeah.
is just reality. And I think we talked about that the other day about like
Yeah.
if you look at nature, it's death, life, rebirth. It's a
Right.
cycle.
If you look
Yeah,
at it as a circle. Yeah.
as a cycle. Yeah.
Okay. So, if art is self-care, which we know it is,
Right.
and we're kind of trying to spread the word about that, and some folks, a good majority of folks are stuck inside their house or at least limited to their property, which might include a backyard,
Right.
or limited to short walks around their neighborhood and things like that. Let's toss out some ideas about how people can take an art break and de-stress and reduce their anxiety today.
Well, I would like to also present that for me, there's two. Art is a form of expression, but art is also a way to higher your feelings, higher your vibrations, get yourself into a good mood. I think we always talk about this. We always say, ask yourself before you do the art, how are you feeling? And then
Hmm.
do the art and then check in again. And so it's like a monitor. So that's one thing. So I think
Oh,
what's
I
gonna
have to interrupt you because you just said that. I have to tell you what my 4-year-old said to me. So we've been talking about the coronavirus every day, and
yeah,
we call it the sickness,
yeah,
and trying to help a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old understand it,
yeah,
and not be terrified of it.
right,
It's a really almost impossible thing to do.
yeah,
I've been checking in with them and asking them, "Do you feel safe? What can I do to help you feel more safe?"
right.
And my 4-year-old said, and I literally almost cried. He said, "Mom, when I'm crafting, I don't think about the sickness." Like, oh my God. I said that makes me so happy. And
Yeah.
we're gonna craft today. So there's another testament to the power of art.
Yeah, and I mean, really, he's more authentic because he's so young. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't
Yeah.
got conditioned by our society, so
Yeah.
that's really
It was
beautiful.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go on. Let's talk about how we can express ourselves through taking an art break. I'll
Oh,
start with
okay.
one.
Go for it.
So get a piece of paper, get crayons or a pastel. This is dealing with an anxiety. Um, so you have that in front of you, crayons, a piece of paper. It can be even like printing paper. You know what I mean? Nothing fancy. This is
Yeah.
whatever.
You could
So
even
close
grab a
your eyes.
pen, right? Grab a
A
pen.
pen is
Yep.
totally fine. Yeah, yeah. It's so simple. A pen and a piece of paper if you don't have art supplies, right? Simple dimple. So close your eyes and then feel the anxiety in your body. Really feel it where it is. And then open your eyes, grab your pen, and then close your eyes again and draw what that feels like. So you're not looking, but you're feeling it. And
Hmm.
I think that's the power of art is you can feel through
Yeah.
expression. And then when you're expressing yourself, the anxiety, it's coming out of you. It's you're releasing it. So that's the
Mm.
power of art. And that's how you can start the um getting to baseline maybe, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So along a similar vein,
Hmm.
I would tell folks so writing down your fears has been proven to sort of start you down that path of um I don't like saying the word getting over them, but kind of understanding them more and moving beyond with them or living with them. So what I would say for the current situation is I would grab, again, make it easy, a
Yeah.
piece of paper and a pen, and I would think of the coronavirus, and I would write down, fill that whole piece of paper up with every thought that you have in regards to the coronavirus. So off the top of my head, in my current situation,
Mm-hmm.
it would be the health of my parents. It
Oh,
would be
yeah.
the in-laws. It would
Mm-hmm.
be the health of the people that I know that are have immune compromised systems.
Yeah.
It would be the fact that my 7-year-old is going to miss half of his first grade education, and what it
Yeah.
mean for him and his socialization and things like that, and because he has amazing friends that he's not getting to be able to see. It's about the state of our culture, our economy, our society, things like that. So there you take it. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
Take as long as you need, fill up that piece of paper, and just like Lisa said, um, feel how you feel at the beginning, and then kind of and then reflect on it and see how you feel at the end, and see if you're a couple of steps removed from that fear. Maybe we call it name it to tame it in our house. If you name the feeling that you're having, that is the first step for your brain to start to recognize it and be aware of it. So,
Yeah. I can add to that. We've talked about this before, but what art does, our subconscious, how do I say, learns in symbols. Do you know what I mean? That's why art is
mhm,
so powerful, because it's a symbol. So what
right.
you're doing is you're connecting your consciousness with your subconsciousness. So as you're writing that out, because what happens also is, you have anxiety maybe when you're 4, it locks in your subconscious, right?
Hmm.
Because you never dealt with it, and so it
Right.
becomes part of your whatever,
Like
your
who you
subconscious.
are.
You don't,
Yeah.
it's your automatic. You don't even know that it exists until something happens and you get triggered and you're like, holy shit, you're back. I
Right.
thought I dealt with this. So what I
Yeah.
think the power of art is really linking the unknown or the subconscious in within yourself into the consciousness. And
Yeah.
I would say that
Yeah. I like that. Hmm.
I would say essential oils are really powerful too. So if you have them on hand, that the essential oils hit your mammalian brain, which is all about emotions. So why doing, if you have lavender, just use that and sink you deeper into that connection, building the bridge between those
Uh-huh.
two states of
Okay.
consciousness. And then to add to that, to both our art breaks, if you want to do an act of rebellion, you can actually tear it up. You
Oh, I
can
like
tear up
it.
your art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that is a physical way for your body, your
Uh-huh.
subconscious, to say, you don't control me anymore. I don't need you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I got two. I got
Okay,
two.
good.
So a lot of time there have been a great deal of studies now about the power of the art gallery and the art museum, and
Right.
let's say like taking your lunch break and everything like that. So they're all closed right now.
Right.
Obviously, for the safety of all of our communities, which I greatly appreciate everyone
Yeah.
practicing social distancing. But a lot of them are offering
I know. That's so cool.
amazing tours
I know.
of their galleries.
Hmm.
And these are things that you may not like at places I don't live that I can't go to, and so I have
Right.
access to these beautiful things. And so I would say take a tour
Yeah.
of one of those museums, and because museum tours have been proven to decrease your stress level. And with that in mind, if you're
Hmm.
not into doing that, another or combine it with this, we've had this art break idea before, and it's got a slight different change to it. Is kind of take a minute, and I don't know how to do this, but just get your head into this place where everything you look at is an artwork,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and walk around your home and view everything like literally your laundry pile in your living room that I
Yeah.
have now. View it as an artwork, and see what happens when everything becomes art, and
That's
just go with that.
that's great. I have to grab my book that I wrote.
Yeah.
It's Kitty Bliss, who he always shows up at Art Break Day, but it says
Yes.
"You are art, I am art." It's a kid's book. Well, it's not a kid's book, but it really is like everywhere you look at it as art, and then
Yeah.
see yourself as art, see other
Yeah.
people as art, see the world as art, and it's
Yeah.
really amazing when
Yeah.
you do that.
Oh,
I'm
there's
gonna, I'm
here's
gonna
an yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm going to add to that too. If you can go outside, see, I mean, nature is art. She's so glorious and
Oh
so
yeah.
beautiful. if you're taking a walk, really mindfully, this is a beautiful art break. Um, really see the beauty in nature. Look at a flower, look at it close, you know what I mean? Look at a hummingbird and just really like look at it as art, and you will feel better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Totally. So do that. Yeah. Like do it inside and then do it outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's cool because it's a
I
bridge
like that.
too, inner and
I
outer,
like that.
right? What we're talking
Yeah.
about is inner and outer, getting, you
Hmm.
know, we're that's interesting because we're all now in the inner. A lot of us are in
Hmm.
lockdown, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of us, we have to go out, but it also could be a metaphor. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful time to reflect and go inside and
Yeah.
discover things. Another art break that I think is really positive is collaging. If you have magazines around, take a piece of paper. Um, Pull out images that you find beautiful or calm or safe,
Hmm.
and then put
Hmm.
that together and hang that in your house, and that's a beautiful art break too. And you can do that with your kids. All these things, if you have kids, you can do with your kids. And I think
Yeah.
the beauty of doing art with your children is, again, it's all about connection. You're connecting with your kid
Hmm.
on a creative
Yeah.
on a creative level.
I love it. Oh, speaking of connection, so I think a lot of people like my neighbor down the street,
Hmm.
she can't see her boyfriend right now because
Oh,
social distancing.
right.
And so they kind of got me thinking, and this is an art break that they could do together.
Yeah.
Or if you're missing your family more, or I'm
Hmm.
feeling that even more, even though I don't live by my family, I feel more of a pull to them right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
would be to like do an art break with them. So
Oh,
do a Zoom meeting with them, like Lisa and I do, and draw with them
yeah.
during your, I don't know, whenever. Uh,
Yeah.
or do a back and forth. Do I call it doodle tag. I had one of those
Yeah.
on our Instagram a couple days ago. So basically, the easy doodle tag to do with someone from across the wires, let's say, is to draw a line on a piece of paper, photograph it, email it to that person, message it to that person. You could probably even do it on your phone if you have a phone
Yeah.
for drawing. Get a drawing
Hmm.
app, and then you add to the line and send it back. That person, adds to it, and you keep kind of going back and forth until you have a collaborative drawing. And that would be a great way to connect with people. Because I do think another
Hmm.
thing, that emotion that people are experiencing is loneliness.
Oh yeah.
It can feel very lonely when your complete routine is basically I mean, I talked to my kids about this the other day, is like you had your daily routine and you liked it,
Yeah.
when someone picked it up and they ripped it in pieces and they threw it in the air, and we are floating in the air right now, and
Yeah.
we're gonna figure it out. So that's another way is just
Well,
connect.
yes, I think everything has been disrupted. Everything is on pause. And I think it's a beautiful time. Yes, connecting. You call. That's what the governor of California said. Call 5 people a day. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm suggesting take art breaks with 5 people a day. Like community. You can even do a Zoom call where you have 5 people on your
Yeah,
screen,
love it.
and really have fun, and start drawing. Start drawing, start sketching, start writing.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
something
Start.
when
Yeah.
I
Another easy one is to start a journal. And
yeah,
and just it can be a journal of any kind, whatever you need that journal to be. Does it, I need mine right now to be a grateful journal. I'm trying to
right.
write down
Gratitude.
what I'm grateful for,
Mm.
because I have a tendency to focus on the negative, and so I'm writing down the smallest things that I get to see my kids do right now, because I'm getting more time with them. And because this is an unprecedented time as a parent, is I actually get extra time with my kids, which is
Yeah.
an amazing thing, and also one of the most challenging things. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm experiencing it, and I'm finding ways to kind of live with it, and love it, and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you could do a journal of your fears every day. Write down what your fears are, and do it every day, and then go back and see that your fears are slowly, probably, kind of disappearing when
Yeah.
or draw them. Here's another one
Yep.
that involves a pen and paper. Draw a safe place,
Hmm.
for yourself to look at when you need to, when you're feeling um, unsafe, not secure. And you can go there in your mind and be there for a little while.
I got a good art break. So, we used to have pictures, right? Some of us still have pictures. They're not on, social media. Go through your photos and you can maybe make a collage of, your good memories. Start,
Yeah.
and you were talking about family and about being lonely. I think if you go into good memories, photos, I
Yeah.
think that's a good place. And you can draw from them. You can use them as jumping off points to create a
Yeah.
drawing. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
those sometimes those are happy places, or you can do a collage with them. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And I would
Oh, here's
say,
yeah, I love these. Okay, so here's another one.
yeah,
So it's a study has shown that if you look at buildings in a like certain architecture, and you kind of contemplate them in
hmm,
a way that like my children would contemplate, how in the world did they build that? You know,
right,
you contemplate it that way, or you can contemplate, why did the architect decide to make windows like that, or decide what you like about it or don't. So look out your window if you live in a place that is surrounded by buildings, and do that exercise. Or if you don't live in a place like that, look on the internet and look at famous architects and look at their buildings, or look at any maybe famous buildings that you've never seen before, in person, and pretend you're there looking at them and contemplate them, and sort of do a meditation on them and see what happens, because that's
yeah,
been be a relaxation exercise.
yeah, that's beautiful. Trying to think. But I think meditation is key, like creative visualization. You can do that, and also I'm like thinking like I know this is very stressful for everybody, and it's disruption in lives, but I would take a step back, pause, and look at it almost like a retreat. Like
Yeah.
how can you do self care with art, but also like how can you make your daily routine into more of like a spa? Do you know what I mean? Like you know, you take yourself as art. Maybe take a longer bath if you can. Do you know what I mean? Like use this
Yeah.
time instead of like I know it's hard. Instead of like freaking out, like oh my god, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Thinking of the future, really be present
Yeah.
in the moment, and when you're doing things, doing art, meditating, taking a bath, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
creating amazing food, like you know what I mean, take
Uh-huh.
time to,
Yeah.
like you said, like everything is art, where every action is an art break, and
Yeah.
it's really almost like this is an art retreat in,
Yeah.
instead of isolation, because they're using those terms too, and those terms are loaded.
Yeah.
Isolation,
Right.
lockdown.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we have to reconfigure them instead of like, oh, I'm on an art retreat right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you
Right.
have to do, of course, you have to do pragmatic if you have children, but you can make their lives into an art retreat as well, right?
Yeah. Well, my children, they love their pajamas. We don't
Yeah,
know, so they wear pajamas all day. We went for a hike in Super Mario pajamas and dinosaur pajamas yesterday.
yeah,
I mean, that's what they wanted to do. And yeah, as a parent, you pick your battles. And as a parent right now, I am focusing on having my kids not having as little stress, anxiety, and fear in their lives. And if wearing pajamas makes them feel good, I'm gonna let them wear pajamas.
why not?
Yeah, great.
And,
Oh, here's another one.
yep,
Okay. Uh, you could, like, turn on music,
yeah,
clubbing music, or rock and roll, or whatever, jazz, whatever gets, I know there's a music for everybody
right,
that when you hear it, you can't not move.
right.
That music that makes you move. And if you have to close your curtains because you're your neighbor to see you,
Yeah,
close your curtains and go hog wild.
that's fun.
Dance in your living room for 15 minutes. Guaranteed you'll feel a whole lot better. Another thing, and I do this with my kids, is we call it the red zone. When you're going into the red zone as a kid, that's,
Explain that when you're triggered to me.
yeah,
Uh,
it's like flipping your lid is another word for it. It's like when your brain is just like normal, and then you go
yep,
I'll link to Dr. Dan Single, who talks about that. He's awesome. What you can do is you can, it doesn't work for everybody, because everybody has a different way of kind of coming out of the red zone. But one way I've done it for myself, honestly,
Yeah.
is I jump up and down 5 times. I
You
just
jump up and down?
jump up and down 5 times.
That's
And
great.
I kind of laugh every time I do it. And because it just gets your body moving, and it gets you out of that tunnel vision of kind of going down that path of anger, or which is usually, for me, anger is hiding fear, and it like snaps you out of it, and then you can relax, and it also gets you to breathe.
But I think
Breathe, you can have you get in a more kind of a more rational state, and more of a self-aware, understanding state. So if you feel yourself, right, like you were talking about, like fear, or like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen, you could do the dance one, because I think that would release a lot of stuff, or just try literally to jump up and down 5 times. And
yeah. I went to the Tony Robbins workshop. What was it called? I forgot. Unleash Your Power. But he calls it shifting your state. So find a move. This is an art break. Find a move that you shift your state, and it could be jumping up and down, or it could be like moving your hands. And then also, I think what's beautiful is you number one, you're back in your body, right? Because fear tends to go into the mental zone where you're just like, nothing is real. It's all an illusion. Is it a movie? Is it what? You know what I mean? But what you do, you get back in your body, and your body knows how to take care of itself. So I think I think taking our breaks that really get you back into your body are really powerful. And then also, I was thinking about the self-care, like looking in the mirror, like especially if you're alone, or maybe just with one partner. This is a beautiful time to do self-care for yourself and really start, diving deep into it. And the one where you stare in the mirror, and you because a lot of times we look in the mirror, we go, oh my God, you're going, you're getting old. Oh my God, we're not kind to ourselves, right?
No.
We are really not kind. So my art break is start being your best friend, your kind best friend. When you look at yourself, say, oh, wow, you have beautiful eyes, or you know what I mean? Compliment yourself, and take an art break by developing mantras about yourself. Like, wow, like really appreciating yourself instead of, because that just compiles it,
Yeah, I do. I think that acknowledgement of even like things that you're working on, acknowledging that you are one step closer to getting there, like saying, I don't, like something like you were a lot more patient today than you were yesterday.
Right.
Or this sounds like things I say to my kids, and I do, is, it's basically like, I saw how you solved that problem with your brother, and I really appreciate that. Being really hard. Do that with yourself, because I'm sure if you're with, even with when you're not with kids, tensions are high, right? And they're everybody's in fight or flight zone right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's tension in relationships and things like that, and so acknowledge your partner. Find something.
There you go.
A compliment for your partner, and a compliment for yourself every morning when you wake up, and every night before you go to bed, to kind of, I find if I do things like that in the morning, if I prepare myself for my own personal triggers, like, remember, Lauren, when your kids are resisting, that is what they're supposed to be doing, development. And it's happening more right now because they're scared. And if I do that to myself, then I remember that. It's like a meditation, right? And you go there when they're freaking out.
Yeah, that's good. I know. I just remembered. My boyfriend, was talking to his friend Michael, and he's like, I'm going crazy. So I would, like, people, like, literally, because he can't go to school, he can't go to the bar, he can't he can't do anything here in Los Angeles, and so let's how can people not go crazy?
Yeah, it's right there.
What are some art breaks for that?
Right, cabin fever, stir crazy, that kind of things. I would say that those folks, right, should do some sort of connection exercise. Like if they have access to, the internet,
Yeah.
schedule like turn your house into a bar or a restaurant and schedule dinner time with your friends.
There you
And
go.
I mean, literally, make dinner, like make dinner together. There you go. Schedule time, and the two of you or the five of you can turn on your Zoom or whatever you're
Yeah.
doing and make the same thing at the same time. Make dinner together. That's a creative act. Um, or I would write a letter to someone,
There you go.
um,
That's a good heartbreak.
and tell them, or write a letter to yourself, man,
Oh, good one.
and tell them what you really feel. This is a great time to just open that door of honesty.
Hmm.
People, how grateful you are for them. I know that I've been definitely feeling more grateful for the people in my life right now. And it's a great time to be reflective.
Yeah.
And yeah, or I'm sure you could I'm imagining that this friend is feeling lonely because
Yeah.
he feels connected is by going out. And I feel
Right.
that's how a lot of people feel connected, is that they get out in their community.
Right.
You find a way to bring your community into your space. I mean, just like you said before, take an art break with them. Call up your friends and schedule a meeting, but have the meeting be, we're all gonna doodle. Here you go. Here's one.
Yeah.
You and I could do this right now.
Okay.
I'd get a piece of paper, and you'd have a piece of paper,
I
and
have paper.
we would draw each other.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And that could be fun.
That could be really fun.
You could play a board game with someone, play checkers or chess, or yeah. I think that the folks who feel stir crazy
Yeah.
need to maybe bring your community to you.
Yeah. What I'm feeling is, of course, there's a lot of uncertainty, and so the people like you had a schedule, your kids had a schedule. I think it's take an art break and make a schedule for yourself.
Yeah,
Create some order, you know what I mean? And in it, create time for taking an art break,
yeah,
for pampering
yeah,
yourself, for making food, for reaching out. And I think
yeah.
those are powerful things because right now, things are just hitting the wall. You know what I mean? It's like we have no idea what's going to go on. We have
Right.
no idea what tomorrow will hold. And
Yeah,
I think and this is why art is so powerful because it brings you down. You know what I mean? It brings you into your art into I was going to call it your art body. It
yeah.
brings you into your art body. And so if you take an art break and then really like create times for reflection, pragmatic things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also that is a way of controlling,
Yeah, right. So feeling like you have more of a sense of control. Yeah, and so right, I like that. Maybe write a list of things that that you value,
yeah,
or things you feel like you need more of
that's a good one. Yeah.
in your life, and the things that so it's like basically control the things that you can control right now, because
Right.
everybody's feeling this sense of having absolute no control. But what you can control is that you can sleep in. Probably not everybody.
Right.
People might be able to sleep in. Some people might be able to take more time in the,
Hmm.
or um, more time for yoga or
Hmm.
exercise, or cooking. Are there things that were, let's say, in your, like, that you couldn't do a month ago, that you were like, oh man, I wish I had more time
Right.
for organizing my photos, or talking to my mom and my dad or my best friends. Write those down, and any of them that you can do them.
Yeah, great. I love a couple things come up. I love the idea of the reset idea. You know what I mean? Like you have time to reflect on values. Like if you want
Yeah,
to transform or change, you can actually create around that. Like things
yeah,
you want to, if you want to get rid of old habits. It's really a
Yeah.
time where it's a pause and a reset button. But I was thinking about a great art break is because we're trained to think in linear time,
Yeah.
it's going to happen tomorrow and then blah, 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 or it's linear, A, B, C, D. And
Yeah.
my art break is draw the spiral, which is, a foundation of all nature of the universe. Draw the spiral, and then slowly draw it and fastly draw it. And just think about time as a non-linear entity.
Mm.
And if
Yeah.
you want, you can write words upon the spiral, you know what I mean, that
Yeah.
talk about this is one that will higher your feelings or higher vibrations. You can write what you love, what you value,
Yeah.
and do it
Yeah.
in a spiral. Because I
I
mean,
love it.
also
Yeah.
what's happening right now is materialism is kind of out the door, right? We're, you
Yeah.
know, so it is about values. It's about expanding yourself spiritually. You know what I mean? It's about these larger I would do values that what you're talking about. I think that's
Yeah.
a beautiful way to get into the what is reality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because I mean, if we're, it's a new reality,
Right.
and you can use art to sort of transition into that new reality, or find a way to exist peacefully and hopefully eventually contentedly, that's a word, in the new reality.
Yeah.
Or just temporarily take care of yourself by taking an art break.
Yeah. And we always say, taking a break makes you a better person, and in turn, it makes a better world. So I
Yes.
think the beauty about right now, or the the gold in the in the muck or the shit that we're going through right now, um, is that we can we can work on ourselves and we can take care of ourselves through art, and then we can refine ourselves, and then when we're ready to go out, or we can go out into the world, we're better people, right? Because
Yep.
we've we're baseline, we're calmer, we're
Yep.
happier, we figure things out, we've overcome this challenge, right? And then
Yep.
when we go into the world, we can be more friendly, more open. We can, realize that everybody's beautiful, in this world.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have no idea how many art breaks. That was a
That
good,
was a lot.
love it.
Yeah.
So hopefully one
But
of
I would
those
say that the
works.
cool thing is we're just two people. We're bound. You can do this with your friends
Yeah,
too.
there you
Get on
go.
Zoom. You can do this call and just say, let's think of things to do during this time. Let's do art
Yeah.
break. And you can just brainstorm. I mean, brainstorming's so fun, right?
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so fun.
That's basically all you and I ever do together.
Right. So try this at home. This is your art break.
Right. This is our art break.
This is our art break. I would
I
say
love it.
everybody, yeah, be safe, make art,
Yeah.
um, and
Yeah.
let's
Be
create.
safe and make art. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
we'll
let's
get,
create
and
a
you know what?
yeah,
We will get through this.
yeah. We are getting through it.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. What's going on? Hang on.
I think it says recording.
Oh man.